Welcome, Sister Shirley Ann Cushing, and you were formerly known as Sister Blanche Marie. And we can get into how you got that name, but we'll just begin right now with people like to know what we were like growing up or where we grew up, the city, the state, what was our family life like. So could you just share with us, what home life was like, your mom and dad and your brothers and sisters?
Oh, yes. Well, I was the youngest in the family, and of course that meant that I would be spoiled a little bit. And
That's what happened.
and that's what my father did, and I was my father's girl because I chased him wherever he went.
Oh, really?
Wherever he came, I was there.
Your father was special to you, and you were special to him.
Well, because he shaved in the bathroom, and I'd go in and talk to him while he shaved. Which my mother said, I think you should leave your dad alone for a while, let him shave by himself.
I bet you were a talker at home.
Yes, I was.
You talked a lot, didn't you?
Well, yes, because I was alone all the time. I was not gone to school. I was home with my mother.
So you were at home alone because now tell us about your brothers and sisters. Who are they and their names?
Well, I had 4 brothers and sisters, 4 or 5, I can't remember now. And they were all in school, and I was left at home.
And who was the oldest?
The oldest was Virginia.
Good. And what did Virginia do? What was her mission in life?
Well, Virginia was a business girl.
Okay, she
took business.
Yes.
And whatever. I don't know what much she did.
Well, didn't she enter the Adrian Dominicans?
Well, not for a long time.
Okay.
Not for a long time.
Okay.
Oh, she was... No,
so when she left high school, she went on and got a job, a business job.
She took business law. And, yes, and did what she could with that.
Okay. And then who came next?
And then Frank came, and he went to the seminary.
Okay.
He wanted to be a priest. And then my brother Bill, who liked cars, and so he played with my father's car all the time.
Oh, cute.
And Blanche had a lot of boyfriends. She was very pretty, and all the boys liked her. And so we had a lot of boys on our front porch all the time.
Okay.
Blanche.
Not because of you?
Not because of me, but I interfered.
I don't doubt that.
I was there having fun with her boyfriends.
Okay. Okay.
But that was it.
And you're the youngest.
And I'm the youngest, and...
now, when you said your sister Blanche, that must be how you got your name. But your mother's name was...
My mother's name was Blanche.
Okay.
And so that's how I got...
So where did you go to school?
St. Teresa's was 2 blocks from our home, and Gloria Kelly and I were in the same classes.
Okay.
And Gloria would pretend she was my mother, I think, because she would say, I'll take care of her, Mrs. Cushing, all the time. Gloria Kelly was there taking care of me.
And so you went through grade school and high school at St. Teresa's?
Grade school and high school.
And so there was...
I skipped a grade I skipped 4th grade.
Why'd you skip it?
Because I was smart. And they said she couldn't skip 3rd grade and go right into 4th.
Okay.
And I did that. And then I skipped part of 4th and went into 5th. And so I never knew my friends all very long. Right. I didn't like it, to be honest.
And you didn't have a choice?
No. But my parents didn't object to it.
They were proud, probably.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so then was there a sister there, an Adrian Dominican, that you kind of were impressed
guess-
by? Or
Yes, there was one sister there that I had in the same grade for a couple of years, and she followed me around, sort of,
Okay.
my name. Sister,
that's okay. It'll come to you.
it'll come,
Okay.
yes. And once in a while I used to meet her later on,
Okay.
yeah.
So she could have influenced you somewhat to become a sister.
No, not at all.
No.
I skipped her.
You didn't have
She
her.
skipped me.
Okay.
Because she said she'll go into 5th grade next year.
Okay.
Things like that.
Okay. So
And
she
they-
saw how brilliant you were.
Well, I was smart.
Yeah. Okay.
There was no doubt about it.
Okay.
So I did skip a grade here and there.
Okay.
And I did. That's all I can say.
And then you graduated, and what did you do after graduation from high school?
We're way up there now. I went to high school at St. Teresa's, and I was friends with Therese Ty,
Okay.
and we lived in the same block.
Uh-huh.
And so my friends were my school friends, and I had boyfriends too. She would say, we can go out with the boys, and my father would say, she will go out with the girls. So that was that. So Gloria Kelly went out with the boys, and I went out with the girls. Anyway, so
So you had some good times in high school.
I liked high school.
Uh-huh.
I liked high school.
Tell me, what was it like in your family, like around the supper table, or how was the interaction
Well, we
with
were
the Cushings?
very far apart.
Oh, the kids?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Frank was older. Virginia was older than that.
Right.
And Bill had nothing to do with me. He had all boyfriends. And he would tell me not to call me in public because I liked being his sister. And I was
You were
proud of him.
Yes.
And so I liked my family a lot, and I wanted to play with them. And they wanted nothing of me in their life. So, but it was a happy family.
Yeah.
Yes, because then my father would be coming home, and he would put up with me for whatever I wanted.
You were telling me when we first were talking about doing the story about your relationship with your dad. I think you were working across, when you finished high school, you were working across the street or from where his office was? Had an office?
Well, that was when, I ended my high school year.
Okay.
And I went to work, and my job was downtown, and my father's office building was across the street.
Okay.
And so he took me to lunch, and I was so proud because I could go out to lunch with my father. So
Where did you work downtown?
downtown, that one of the places that
What a building.
they had a name for it.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah.
the name. Yes, yes.
Did it have anything to do with law? Because I knew you were interested in
No,
law.
I wanted to be the lawyer because my father was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where the lawyer came from.
Okay.
I wanted to be like my father.
Okay.
So,
Do you think you've accomplished that?
yes,
What are some characteristics of your father that you especially liked?
Irish
Irish. Were you,
and joker
okay.
and fun and business, down to business.
Okay. How does your mother fit into the family dynamics?
My mother I was with my mother all the time because my sisters were much older.
Okay.
So my mother took me everywhere she went. And she drove. Different for that time.
At that time, right?
Yes.
That you even had a car. For
She
her.
had a car,
Yeah.
and my father left the car at home, and he took the bus to work
Okay. Okay.
because my mother took the car. And my brother Bill said that's when he learned to drive, so he could drive my mother.
Good, good.
That's what he said. But he wanted to drive.
How did you become an Adrian Dominican sister?
I think probably with, I can't remember what inspired me. I don't think anything really inspired me. It was with friends,
Okay.
with friends.
So it was a calling. You probably didn't even think of it at that time.
It was a, I liked the nuns, and I liked school, and I liked going and coming.
Uh-huh.
Oh yes.
Now, Virginia, your oldest sister, was an Adrian Dominican.
Yes, and she was out working at the time I was starting.
Okay.
She's that much older, 10 years older.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, she's 10 years
Yeah,
older.
I knew Virginia very well.
Yes, 10 years older.
Mm-hmm.
So,
she wasn't that much of an influence.
no.
Maybe more so the nuns that you...
No. We used to kid because she worked and had money. And so Therese Ty and I always met her on her payday. And she'd take us to lunch or supper or whatever it was. So that was fun.
smart.
Always fun. Virginia loved having Therese Ty and Shirley Cushing with her.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Not like that brother of yours, huh?
Yes. No.
Okay, so you entered the convent.
Yes.
And how was that for you? You went through formation. And
Well,
then,
my mother died young, and so when I skipped fourth grade too, in between this, and so having skipped fourth grade, they skipped me into fifth grade.
okay.
And fifth grade, I wanted to skip out of it because it was so easy.
Okay.
So
okay.
the teachers were there.
Well, that's why they kept moving you up,
Yes,
because you
that's
weren't
right.
challenged. But
Yes.
let's get back on with when you entered the convent, and then you started to you went through formation, and then you got sent out. Do you recall the first place that you went?
Wait a minute. When I went out, when I became a sister, I don't remember how that all happened, to be honest.
But you went to Chicago. You
I did.
started off in Chicago.
I went to Chicago. And
So you went between Chicago and Michigan. But I noticed one thing on your resume was Japan. Can you tell us about Japan?
oh yes, Japan came when I was a person that allowed herself to be used by the women that were running the school. They were a different order.
So that was a school for American children to get an education in Japan.
That's right. Yes.
And how did you get called over there?
Well, I remember being asked. They advertised for a nun.
Who's the? Oh, the school did.
Yes, and I remember running to Rosemary Ferguson,
Okay.
and I said to her, "I'd like to go to Japan," and she says, "Oh, I think that's wonderful," and so she let me go, and so I stayed in Japan for 2 years.
That's right.
2 years or 3 years.
And where did you live?
At the convent.
Oh, they had a convent there.
They had a convent. I lived with the nuns that ran the school.
Okay.
I forget what order they were.
I don't know.
I'll check it out. I'll think about
It's
it.
International Sacred Heart School.
Yes, it was
Sophia.
an international
Yeah.
Sacred Heart school because the kids laughed because the headmistress called me Sister Blanche, and they all called me Sister Blanche, my kids in 12th grade. I had the 12th
Oh,
grade.
wow. Okay.
Yes. So
I'm sure they loved you.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I loved it.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And so you were there for 2 years, and then you came back.
I came back. They asked me to stay for 2 more. And I didn't want to. I was homesick. I didn't want to stay 2 more years.
Okay.
I said, oh, maybe I'll come think about it after a couple of years. But I didn't.
So
I
then
wanted to come. I wanted to come back.
So-
I was plain homesick. That's all.
Well, that's good. That's good that you realized what was going on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what happened when you came back? You started to do a different ministry.
What did I do? When I came back, I went to Adrian, and I'm drawing a blank with what business I took care
What
of.
have you always wanted to do since you were little? What was your dream for your vocation, for your
Well,
mission in life?
I taught in the local school, high school,
Right. Uh-huh.
and had taught with the men who were teaching next to me, but I just sat there and ran the office,
Okay.
and
You're varied in all the things and skills that you had that you put to use. But I thought you had a great love, very close to your dad because he was a lawyer, but that's something that you wanted to be.
oh yes,
Okay, how did you get going back to school to become a lawyer?
I wanted that.
Uh-huh.
They weren't. Adrian wasn't happy.
Okay,
They wanted more school-oriented stuff.
they
from
wanted
me.
you teaching?
Yes.
Yeah, you
yes,
probably were a
yes,
very good teacher and the kids
yes.
liked you.
Anyway, but that's what I did.
You did law. And what kind of law?
I didn't particularly care. I was a lawyer. Tom was a lawyer
And
next
who's
to
Tom?
me. Tom was my partner.
Oh, good, you
And
had a
he-
partner.
we both taught in the same school.
And what's Tom's last name?
Tom, I have to think
I
about
thought
that.
Henrik, I can't remember. But I thought
Tom Hartwig,
Hartwig, right.
that's his name.
You'll have to tell him about your stories. He's still amongst us?
He's around.
Okay. You have to tell him your story. You're on YouTube. He'll like to hear his name. But you were an elder law.
I was an
Now
elder.
tell us what elder law is.
Well, elder law is the people who are addressing the needs of senior citizens.
Good.
Citizens. So I used to go out from school, from the office, and go to those schools and teach the senior citizens.
Oh,
I just-
what did you teach them?
I taught them. What did I teach them?
Probably the rights that they have as senior citizens.
Well, I taught them what they needed. What they needed.
Okay, and what did they need?
They needed guidance.
Good.
They needed guidance, and so every Friday I taught them
And what were some of the things you taught?
whatever they needed, which was how they get along with their families and the people in their neighborhood.
Okay.
Yes,
And this was in Macomb County.
this is in
Michigan.
Macomb County.
Yeah.
I worked for Macomb County.
Good.
I was a person who was given an office, and I ran the office, and the office was mainly serving senior citizens.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
And so you engage them in conversation, and they tell you about some of the things that they felt were not
I would,
fair or just. Yeah.
well, I would make sure that I didn't tell them what I wanted to teach them. They told me what they needed to hear.
Okay.
And so what I did was listen
Okay.
for the most part.
Okay.
But I had an office in the school for that purpose. So
Did you enjoy that?
I always enjoyed what I did. I never did not enjoy my teaching career.
You didn't?
No, I loved it.
Oh.
I loved it. I loved my teaching career. And the kids used to kind of laugh because we had, the sisters had accents. They had accents, and they wanted me to have that same accent, the kids. They'd say, we want you to talk like Sister Culhane.
Okay, so did you get an accent?
No, I did not put on an accent.
So how did you, after you finished your elder law or you stopped working with the seniors, what did you do next? I thought you were in some kind of pastoral work in parishes. And you were in formation in the congregation, weren't you?
Yes.
So we had some women who were asked to, in some way, be with and guide and instruct the postulants in those days and the novices.
Yes.
So you were formation director or assistant director.
Yes, but that was a little earlier,
Okay, before your law.
before the law.
Yeah. So you enjoyed that one.
I did.
You liked it.
I did.
Uh-huh.
I liked it.
I tried to get some of the people that you were the director, but I couldn't find anybody.
Well, that's because
teasing.
they escaped.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. No. And did you work with Rosemary Ferguson in formation?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Rosemary and what's the other nun's name that she was also in our Truthsome,
Okay.
because I used to call them together at 7 o'clock every Tuesday night for a meeting of us, so we could get our act together for the kids.
Okay.
And
The sisters, you mean?
And Rosemary Ferguson would tease me about that because I wanted them orderly and in touch with the things we were doing, and she wanted fun. She wanted the fun.
Well, they were adults at this time now.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Our sisters.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so then you finished, you did formation, then you did the law, and then you kind of did some parish work, and then you came in here.
In here.
In here to Adrian, to campus.
Yes, I came into Adrian for whatever reason.
Perhaps you needed some assistance.
Well, we were a group that worked like a group. And so it was whatever needed doing.
Okay, as you look back on your life, what would be one or two highlights, not to go into it, but just some, an aspect of your life that was special and inspired you, and you just, it sounds like everything did, but is there something in particular?
Well, I think going to Japan.
Okay, that was, yeah.
I went to Japan. And I mingled with the Adrian Dominicans and the sisters of
that special group of the Sacred Heart.
Yeah, Sacred Heart,
Yeah.
Sacred Heart Sisters.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So that was a highlight.
That was a big highlight.
What are you passionate? What energizes you at this time of your life?
Now?
Yeah.
Now? Well, right now I am busy, but I'm not passionate about anything really that would hold me to, because I've done everything I wanted to do, to be honest. I skipped grades in school. That was the things I did.
Okay.
And my brothers and sisters said, what is she doing now? They wanted to know why I was getting a lucky jump in from 3rd grade to 5th grade.
So now, have they all surpassed you and gone up to heaven?
No, they're still around and they still remember, but we don't talk about it much.
Yeah, that's good. But you had an enjoyable childhood
Yes.
and growing up, and sounds
Yeah.
like the family was fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
My brother's a priest. He died young. And my sister's a nun. And my other sister is married with a wonderful family. And so we're still, my mother died young, and my father died young. So I lost them early, a great loss. But it was a family that stayed together.
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
Obvious, yeah.
I'm not
Of course.
sure what more I want to say about myself because my life was so varied. I was asked, the thing I think was capital in my life for the community was that I always did everything they asked me to do, plus. And I didn't ever put up with it, even though I had never done it before. I always took it on and saw, well, I think I can do that. Okay, I'll try it.
What's one thing you hope people will remember about you?
People?
Anyone, you've touched many lives. Sisters, your family,
Yes.
elder law people, the seniors out.
I
back
think
home?
they like my happiness.
Okay.
I was a happy person. And so I tried to engage them in a certain joy for what we were doing.
Okay.
Whatever I was doing, they participated in, and we did it together. So it was, in a sense, it was something that we did together because we liked each other,
Okay.
and so on.
Okay, this is it.
This is it. I'm satisfied with my. Are you satisfied with my?
I've always been satisfied with Shirley Ann Cushing.
Well, thank you, Peggy
We-
Flynn, for
we-
inviting me to engage in this little togetherness.
Yeah, this is an important part of our congregation history for our sisters to share their story. So,
Yes.
And we don't compare ourselves to anybody else.
Right.
And I find, for me, what's most interesting is the way you grew up and what a little Dickens you were with your sisters and brothers. And your brothers. Isn't it nice to have a brother? I've
Oh,
always said
yeah.
that. I always felt sorry for people that didn't have a brother.
Well, I was
So-
the youngest in the family,
Yeah, well, that's, yeah. We
and
know.
that was special.
Yeah, special, and that's what, yeah.
Yes.
We always have a name for people who are the youngest. I won't say it here, though.
Are you the youngest in your
No,
family?
no. I'm middle child. Okay, Shirley Ann Cushing, thank you ever so much, Blanche Marie, for all that you are and have been and will continue to be, because you are a delight over at Maria. You always seem very happy.
Yes, I am
And-
happy.
Yeah, and
I'm a
engage
happy
with people.
person.
You're a happy person.
Yes.
So don't take that with you. Leave it behind. Okay, or continue sharing it with the rest of us.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Shirley.